Welcome back. Welcome back. Thanks for coming aboard. All right, you know what we got today? We have AJ versus Ruiz 1 and 2 breakdown. We're going to put the stats side by side. We're going to see what happened in the two fights, and we're going to give you actual numbers that we can compare. Appreciate you guys coming back. Appreciate you guys being with us through this journey. Shout out to the UGC boxing channel. Best channel there is out there. Anything you need to know boxing, go to that subscription link, and they've got a lot of great content on there. Had to push back this live a little bit. We had some other lives going on. Like I said last week, I'm going to be very respectful. This channel is going to be based towards college football. I will have these breakdowns and little cool hype videos, other things that we do. But when it comes to boxing, we have a lot of quality channels out there already in the UGC, and we want to make sure those guys get heard because you know, we don't want y'all to listen to crap when it comes to boxing. But yeah, like I said, appreciate y'all coming on. We'll get to the chat, comments, things like that a little bit later on. We got a packed schedule for you guys, so hope you guys enjoy. And yeah, let's get on with it. All right, let's get right into it. AJ versus Ruiz 1. The format that we use, we do punches thrown, punches landed, and then we have a percentage of landing punches in the 1 through 4, 5 through 8, 9 through 12 at the end. We also do a punches landed, punches thrown total for the entire fight, and then average punches landed per round, as well as knockdowns in the fight, and like I said, the percentages on how many landed versus thrown in the entire fight. Okay, so rounds 1 through 4. Punches thrown, AJ threw 140. Ruiz, 137. Punches landed, AJ landed 48 of 140. Ruiz landed 51 of 137. Okay, off of the first two stats that we go over between the two fighters, you can see that Ruiz not only landed more, he landed more while throwing a little less. It's not a big difference. It's 3 punches less thrown for Ruiz. And then for punches landed, you have, let's see here, 3 punches as well, more landing for Ruiz. All right, the punches landed percent, this is compared to the entire fight. We know the fight ended in the 7th round, but in rounds 1 through 4, AJ landed 67% of the total shots in the fight in the first 4 rounds. Ruiz had 60%. Okay, rounds 5 through 7, you have AJ with punches thrown at 108, Ruiz with 98. That was a little surprising to me, simply because I would have thought Ruiz had more punches thrown in the last 2 rounds of the fight. Punches landed, you have AJ only landing 24 of 108, and Ruiz landing 34 of 98. Now, with the percent of punches that were landed in the last 2 rounds compared to the fight, you have AJ at 33% and Ruiz at 40%. That, like I said, that's pretty pretty clear and cut. All right, so off of just looking at punches thrown, punches landed, you have Ruiz in the last 2 rounds throwing less again, but he landed exactly 10 more than AJ did. AJ only landed 24 compared to 48 in the first 4 rounds. That's, you know, half of the production. And then Ruiz also about half, a little over half, but we all know why. Okay, let's look into total punches thrown. Ruiz threw 235. AJ threw 248. Let's look at the total punches landed of what was thrown in the entire fight. Ruiz landed 85 of his 235. AJ landed 72 of his 248. That's only a 13 punch gap. It's not huge. Pretty close, actually. All right, average punches landed per round. Now, last week when we did this with Wilder and Fury, this is what to me deemed the biggest reason why Wilder did not have success in the second fight. All right, so in the first fight, average punches landed per round. You have Ruiz landing 12.1, AJ landing 10.3. Not a huge gap. It's 2 more punches, but still, Ruiz is landing more every single round. I guess a 13 punch gap. If there were no knockdowns, you could, say that, Ruiz slightly won. But when you look at knockdowns, AJ has the first knockdown in the entire fight, and it comes in round 3. Ruiz gets up from that and then knocks down AJ 2 times in the 3rd round, and then 2 more times in the 7th round. It's a total number of knockdowns of 4, and obviously the fight was stopped in the 7th round. They said AJ didn't want to continue on. I don't know. I didn't really feel that way. I did see AJ kind of signaling that he still wanted to fight. I don't think that he was really all there, though. You get knocked down 4 times, 2 times, back to back like that, and you're trying to fight. So I don't blame, the stoppage at all. It was a good stoppage. Body and head. I did this one on the first fight just to kind of give you a little insight onto, what punch it, or who was throwing punches to the body and punches to the head. You look at it, you have Ruiz only throwing 8% of his total punches to the body and 92% to the head. That's landed. And then AJ landed 12% to the body and 88% to the head. So yeah, both were head hunting, but Ruiz definitely was head hunting, and we saw why. That's gonna wrap up the first fight. Not a lot of big differences when I'm looking through this. Like I said, the first 4 rounds are damn near. I mean, flip a coin on who you think won those. Aside from the knockdowns, of course. And then when you look at 5 and 7, that's when it starts to get kind of drastic in the changes. But yeah, it was a pretty close fight as far as the statistics go. Average punches landed per round, like I said, 12.1 for Ruiz, and then for AJ, 10.3. Okay, we're going to get into the second fight, and then we will compare the two and see what happened. All right, AJ versus Ruiz 2. Rounds 1 through 4. Punches thrown. You have 86 punches thrown by Ruiz and 114 thrown by AJ. Punches landed. This is rounds 1 through 4. 30 for Ruiz, 40 for AJ. Right there, you see AJ is landing more punches, and he's still throwing a lot more than Ruiz. And he was throwing a lot more than Ruiz in the first fight, but in the second fight, he's not only throwing more, but he's also landing more. So he landed 10 more shots in rounds 1 through 4. The punch percentage compared to the entire fight is right at like 30 for 30 for Ruiz and 31 for AJ. Okay, rounds 5 through 8. Punches thrown, you have 102 for Ruiz and 114 for AJ. AJ stayed the exact same fighter, throwing 114 punches. Ruiz picked up his punches thrown a lot at 102 versus 86 in 1 through 4. Punches landed, you have Ruiz landing 41, AJ landing 39. So right there, you start to see Ruiz is starting to look like the first fight, where he's throwing less punches and he's landing more. It's only 2 more punches, but still he landed more than AJ. The percentage of punches that were thrown, Ruiz jumps up to 41%, was thrown in rounds 5 through 8. AJ stays in the 30s. Okay, rounds 9 through 12. You have punches thrown, 95 for Ruiz and 119 for AJ. So AJ picks up his punches thrown by 5 right there in the last 4 rounds. Stayed pretty much the same. It's like a 33.333 breakdown on punches thrown, percentage wise per set of 4 rounds. And let's see here, Ruiz at 95 thrown. He definitely lost some of his production, but he also stayed fairly the same. Now punches landed. This is when you start to see the difference and why AJ won the last fight between the two. Punches landed. Ruiz landed 30 of the 95 he threw. AJ landed 52 of the 119. So AJ landed 22 more shots than Ruiz did in the last 4 rounds of the fight. Now, when you get into like a close fight that you look at rounds 1 through 8. Ruiz had 3 more landed punches in rounds 5 through 8. AJ had 10 and 1 through 4. So AJ's up about 7 punches or 7 landed punches at the end of round 8. But when you get into rounds 9 and 12, he really starts to pick up his pace and he starts to I guess the feeling out part, you could say. He knows his distance. He knows how far, where he can reach to. But 52 landed. That's kind of insane. Ruiz only landed 30. That's 11 less than rounds 5 through 8. So he lost a lot of production. And then the average punches landed. You have let's see here. Yeah, you have AJ at a 40%. So just increasing your production that much in the final 4 rounds is kind of crazy. But he was able to do it. He wasn't playing around with his conditioning or he took this one real serious. And then for Ruiz, he stayed in. Well, he's in the low 30s, but yeah, he lost 11% in the final 4 rounds, while AJ gained 10%. Now you look at. Let's go to the total thrown for the entire fight. So total thrown in the entire fight, you have Ruiz at 283 and AJ at 347. So when you look at this statistic, AJ throwing a lot more active. He's being productive. Now landed, you have Ruiz at 101, AJ at 131. So he landed. That's exactly 30 punches more than Ruiz. That's a 30 punch gap over the entire fight. Now, when you look at the 2 fights compared on these last statistics I was given, average punches landed per round, Ruiz in the first fight had 12.1, and the second fight he only had 8.4. So a lot of people did videos on. He was fooling around. He wasn't taking it serious. He was out partying. And that's true. He lost 25% of his, average productions and punches landed per round. That's terrible. So yes, Ruiz something happened with Ruiz. AJ 10.9 in the second fight, and the first fight he had 10.3. That was the craziest statistic to me. I know. Other people might say the Ruiz 8.4 with 25%, loss of production per round. That's a big eye opener, but we kind of already knew that. AJ at 10.9 compared to 10.3 lets me know that AJ didn't improve as much as I thought he would. When we broke down Wilder versus Tyson Fury last week, when we looked at the first fight, it was a 2 or a 3 punch gap and landed per round for Tyson Fury in the first fight. And the second fight, though, Tyson Fury was at 20 landed punches per round, and Wilder stayed at like a 9, similar to the first fight. So there was a clear difference. But when I look at AJ versus Ruiz too, you have Ruiz at 8.4 and AJ at 10.9. So Ruiz lost a lot, but AJ didn't really gain a lot when it comes to landing punches per round. Now that doesn't really judge the entire fight. He does have a 30 punch gap, so yeah, he did a great job. I just expected it to be higher. However, when you want to kind of look at the top four heavyweights, and for the longest time, I know it's shifted a lot. I'm not trying to make any claims that it's still this case, but the top four was, Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, AJ, and Ruiz, just simply because they were fighting each other to see who's, the best, and it became a two fights and then three fights. But when you look at the statistic of punches landed per round, Fury's killing everybody. At 20 punches landed per round, after last fight, I mean that was an extremely crazy stat that I didn't expect to see. But when I saw AJ staying the same, it's kind of, I don't know. I felt AJ had more production, but that just, that could be just the fact that it, went past 7 rounds. But yeah, Fury's not playing around. 20 landed punches per round. That's going to cause a lot of problems for whoever he fights. Looking at the other guys, which are right at 10 at best. I mean, if Ruiz gets back into form, he would be technically the closest at 12.1. But let's see here. Oh yeah, I also did the body and head thrown count for AJ and Ruiz in the second fight. I thought this would be kind of good instead of the percentage. Punches thrown to the body for Ruiz, he only threw 60, while he threw 223 to the head. For AJ, he threw 107 body punches and 230 headshots. So if you look at that, you can just see how much more production AJ was throwing versus what Ruiz was throwing. So when you're like, oh, he's just running the entire, that's not the case. He threw way more punches and he landed more. So we can just throw that out the window. However, you got to give. I think Ruiz AJ 3 is a better fight after looking at this, just because how close it is on the stat wise. Now on paper, it's still extremely close as far as punches thrown, landed per round. But when you look at AJ and Wilder, there's such a huge gap. But if you compare Fury's last fight on punches per landed to any of these guys, it's going to look drastic. Yeah, that's gonna wrap up the breakdown and the comparison to the AJ versus Ruiz 1 and 2. I hope you guys liked it. I definitely found some interesting points in here. Actually, I forgot to do a prediction for the third fight. All right, in the third fight between AJ versus Ruiz, stats tell us AJ's going to stay slightly better, get to about maybe 11, 12 punches landed per round. Ruiz was at about 12 punches. Then he dropped down to 8. He's the big question mark. I do believe AJ's going to continue to get better. I like the new style that he had. I mean, when I was looking at the fight, he split Ruiz, I believe, in the first round. And it just gave him problems throughout the fight as well. But AJ's going to get better. Ruiz, a big question mark. Going to go ahead and put AJ as my pick for the third fight. I believe that it's going to go to decision again. Maybe, I'm just going to go with the decision. And AJ's just going to land more. He's going to throw more. And he's going to outwork Ruiz. But yeah. Appreciate you guys staying on for the breakdown for Sporting Advantage. Gonna get set up here to have Jeffe on, and he's gonna come in and give give his viewpoint. He's got a good channel going. Met him through the UGC. He's a good guy. But yeah, we're gonna have him come on, and we're gonna see what he has to say about it, if he likes it or whatever. We're going to go ahead and get right in with El Jeffe. We had to have him come on a different route simply because we can't do StreamYard and link our system up together. Looks like, yeah, he's already here. Let's go ahead and introduce him. What's up, El Jeffe? How you doing today?
Yo, what's going on, man? Let me just introduce myself, bro. This is El Jefe, man, aka the Big Boss, man, aka the Big Jefe, man.
All right, that was a great intro, man. So What did you think about my interview? Or not, excuse me, not my interview, but my breakdown. Did you like it? What'd you think about it?
Like an evolution of boxing.
Oh, thanks, man. I really appreciate that. Um, you know, why did you come on here today?
Just
Is
saying,
there
just saying.
anything that you'd like to possibly say, debate? Let me know.
There ain't really shit to talk about. Ain't
All
really
right.
shit
Well,
popping.
Jeffe's having some audio issues right now. However, we're gonna get him a new link to come back in on, and he's going to spit some bars for us. I know it sounds crazy, but that's one of the things he wanted to do. He wanted to prove to everybody that he's the best to ever do it, and yeah, he's handing out L's in these streets. So we're gonna go ahead and did you? Let's see here. We got him back on now. Jeff A. Did you have a beat ready to go, or do you want to use one of ours? Okay, no problem. We'll go ahead and we will set it up and see if you like it, and then yeah, go ahead and start spitting. El Jeff A.
Into that ass shit, into that ass shit.
Whoa!
I'm the type of dude. What do you get? Homosexual shit.
Come
Hef is
on,
here to put ass in your face. The ass in your ass in your ass in your
LFA.
face. Into that ass shit, ass shit. Into that ass shit, ass
I
shit.
can't. All right, cut it. You know, I thought for a second that we were going to get on here and we were going to talk boxing and it was going to be an honest, good debate, but yeah, I can't trust you to do that. So we're just going to have to go ahead and for stat wise say that, champ wins again. You got your shot at the champ. Didn't go as expected. We're going to go ahead, put Sporting Advantage with a body and El Jefe with whatever the fuck that was. If you want to talk, you're good. All right, guys. Hope you like that. That was a skit. I want to go ahead and clear up that in no way, shape, or form was El Jefe on this channel. That was just a little skit we put together. This channel is not going to be like a debate channel or just anybody coming on here and spitting stuff. It's going to be just strictly content and like if you want to see debates, if you want to get the best experience with boxing, like I said, go to the UGC channel. They've got a lot of great content. Go there. We'll probably do a StreamYard live for channels if they want to. I'm thinking maybe around 8 p.m. tonight, and all the channels that want to come on, see what's going on, different things. But yeah, man, appreciate everything you guys are doing. Appreciate you stopping by. We'll go ahead and end this up. And yeah, thanks again for everything. We'll get some music, of course, going out. And yeah, appreciate everybody coming by.